I hate to say it, and I really don't want to say it, but it's just true. And this is coming from a fan of the Bundesliga. This is my main league. With all due disrespect to the Bundesliga, it's going to be a joke this year. I really think the Bundesliga is going to be a complete and utter joke this season. It is basically done. I said it in my Bayern post-match reaction to the Leipzig game on Friday. We won the league at halftime now. Was I joking a little? We were the only team to have played with Leipzig. We had to see what Dortmund, Leverkusen, and all the other teams had to do, right? The rest of the weekend. But surprise, surprise, our so-called competitors are the teams that are so-called supposed to push this Bayern team and challenge us, quote unquote. How many quote unquotes do I have to use? They're imposters. They're imposters. And I don't want to shy behind it. I just want to get this out there now, early into the season. I don't want to sit here. I don't want people thinking I'm going to be repping the Bundesliga this year because honestly, when it's going to come to the title race, at least now, usually like in the rest of the top leagues, the race for the Champions League spots are always exciting, but I'm not going to fret. I'm not going to lie. The title race this year is done in the Bundesliga. There will be no title race. There will be only one team, and that's Bayern. And the reason why I know this, one, Bayern, we played so well on Friday against our, again, another quotations, competitor, team that's supposed to push us in Leipzig. We absolutely dismantled and took apart Leipzig brick by brick, piece by piece. No diddy. Baby oiled the joints and everything. Took them apart. And so that's great. Yeah, we played so well. The front line looked amazing. We still have Musiala, Davies, Ito, Pavlovic all to come back from injury. Oh my gosh, it's going to look good. This Bayern team is playing great. We saw company football and free flow. But wait, let's hold on. Let's not get too excited. Let's see what the rest of the league does this opening weekend. Let's see if any other teams have statement victories. Let's see. That's the mentality. You don't want to be too cocky, but it's Bayern. This is our league. This league is our bitch. And not because we bought out the league, because we, as a club, structured ourselves to maintain such dominance, to get to a point where we are leaps and bounds above every other team. Not with money, but with structure, with decisions, with mentality, by being smart. And I see, you could have that arrogance as a Bayern fan, but you still got to respect the opposition. We got to see, all right, what's the rest of the Bundesliga have for us this weekend? This is the standings after this weekend. All matches have been played. So we're here looking at the top 6 now. You might be confused. You're thinking, all right, Eintracht Frankfurt, they're usually a good team that starts off strong in the Bundesliga. But wait, hold on. Where is Dortmund? Where is Leverkusen? Where is Leipzig? Let's just scroll down a little. Oh, so they're not in 7th. Okay. This might be a mistake. The website, the table might be glitched. Okay, there's Dortmund. 1 point. All right, not bad. 1 point. You scroll down. Where's Leipzig? Oh, there's Leverkusen on 0 points. They lost. And then you got Leipzig. Also in last, obviously, because they got Pimp Smack 6-0 now. It's only match day one, but let's look at the context of what Dortmund, Leverkusen, and Leipzig did today. Not today, this weekend. Let's go look at the context, guys. Context is key. This is who Leverkusen lost to. Hoffenheim, a team that was almost relegated last season. They were on the cusp in 16th place, right? 16th place Hoffenheim finished last year. 16th, 15th place they finished last year. They were in a relegation battle last year. And so Leverkusen, yes, Wirtz is gone. Yes, Xhaka is gone. It looks like Hincapie is going to leave. Victor Boniface was going to go to AC Milan, but he failed his medical. I understand things have changed. Xabi Alonso's gone and Eric Ten Hag is gone. But you cannot, on the opening match day, lose to a team 2-1, and lose to a team that was battling relegation last year in Hoffenheim. And you know what frustrates me about this? You know what absolutely frustrates me about this is that Leverkusen are going to play in the Champions League this year, And last year, when they were still strong, they could not finish their chances in key Champions League games, and they went out early. Obviously, we ended up knocking them out, but if they did better in the group stage, they might not have drawn against Bayern, a team that has their number, a team that has experience against them, Leverkusen. And again, this year they're in the Champions League, and everyone's gonna think, "Oh, this is because nobody watches the Bundesliga, nobody watches the league." They're gonna say, "Oh, it's Leverkusen. They're gonna be strong. We gotta show Leverkusen some respect." But I guarantee you guys, Bayer Leverkusen is going to go into the Champions League this year, and they're going to fucking embarrass themselves. They are going to shit the bed. They're not gonna. I guarantee you, Leverkusen might not be in the playoff positions. But seriously, they might not be in the playoff positions, and then everyone's going to say the Bundesliga is a joke. This was one of Bayern's competitors the last 2 seasons. Look at where they're at in the Champions League phase. Blah, 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 blah. They're in the playoffs. They didn't even make the playoffs. And that's frustrating for me. That's really frustrating for me. And Leverkusen just started the year just showing that they're not going to be strong. They're not going to compete with us. They're losing to a team in Hoffenheim that almost won out of the Bundesliga last year. They were fighting for relegation the second half of the season. They still got Andre Kramaric. Although he's good, Bundesliga vet, he's still playing. Kramaric is still playing. And you look at this Leverkusen team. By the way, they're about to lose Hincapié apparently to Arsenal. They've got Flecken, Kwanzaa, Tapsoba, Grimaldo. So the team just looks so much weaker. Maza, Schick, no Wirtz, no Xhaka, no Ta. No Hradecki, who went to AS Monaco now. Embarrassing. Embarrassing for Leverkusen. I mean, how? And Ten Hag, embarrassing for you as well, bro. Embarrassing. Just really disappointing. Because the thing is, guys, let's not get into it. Because we still gotta go. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund. They blow a 3-1 lead and draw 3-3 away from home against St. Pauli. Now, St. Pauli away from home is a tough fixture. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not tough, yada, yada, yada. It's a tough fixture. But you go up 3-1. If you're serious, if you're going to challenge, if I'm, as a Bayern fan, if I'm going to look at Dortmund and take you guys seriously this year and not completely disregard you guys, I want to see you guys close this game out professionally. I want to see you guys at 3-1 get another 4-1, 5-1. The last thing I want to see is you guys bottle the 3-1. Bottle the 3-1. And so, with Leverkusen, they're going to be weak. With Dortmund, we're seeing right now. They're just going to bottle. They're going to drop points, this and that. I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's just so disappointing. It's so disappointing. And why am I disappointed? And then obviously Leipzig got smacked up 6-0. Even Stuttgart, bro. Even Stuttgart. I know Union Berlin away again is a tough fixture, but again, I'm not a stats merchant, but this is Stuttgart's Achilles heel every single game. In the Champions League last year, Stuttgart should have been a team finishing at least in the playoffs. But again, these guys do not put away their chances. Sebastian Hoeneß gets them playing beautiful, free-flowing football domination, but they can't put the ball in the back of the net. So this is what the Bundesliga is dealing with this year. And the reason why this is so frustrating for me, because one, people won't take the league serious again. Fine, whatever. I've been hearing that since I was in 4th grade. I've been hearing that for more than 10 years now. So I'm used to it. I don't care. But what frustrates me is that this is a detriment to Bayern. How will this help Bayern in the latter stages of the Champions League? Because we're seeing this Bayern team, the football they play when everyone's on form and fit, whatever. This team can win the Champions League, but this bum-ass league with these bum-ass teams that are supposed to push us and challenge us, they're going to let us win the league by February, early March. And then what's the motivation for us after we've secured the league? What's the motivation for us? to continue performing week in, week out. Sure, the Champions League is a big enough motivation, but the league win is already there. And the reason I'm frustrated about this, the reason I'm annoyed is because this was a key reason why Pep Guardiola, I always felt that Pep Guardiola and his Bayern teams always fell a little short in the Champions League because they lost their cutting edge. Why? Because Guardiola came and he would finish off the Bundesliga by early March. I always felt that in those 3 years under Guardiola, that he would finish the league up so quickly that this team, his Bayern teams, would just coast in the Bundesliga weekend after weekend, and they wouldn't have that full sharpness and cutting edge and killer instinct to take it to the next level in those Champions League semifinals. All 3 of those years. And that's something I don't want to happen to this Bayern. That was something I don't want to happen to Bayern again. I want the league to be competitive. I really do. I want to see Dortmund do well. I want to see Leverkusen do well. I want to see Leipzig do well. Because they make us better. They push us harder. They keep us sharp. They keep us on our toes throughout the season. And I don't want us to be complacent after we wrap up the league title, by the way, which is going to happen. We are going to wrap up this league title by early March. We play the best football. We got the best team. All these other teams are going to drop points and blow 3-1 leads and get smacked up 6-0, not put away their chances. The Bundesliga is going to be a joke this year, and I'm really worried. I'll trust Dortmund in the Champions League. I will give Dortmund. I will trust Dortmund in the Champions League, but the Leverkusen and Leipzig, they're going to embarrass the league in the Champions League, and that's just so annoying. That really is so annoying. It's unfortunate. But the Bundesliga is going to be a joke this year. Bayern are too good. Their football is too good. Maybe the only thing the other Bundesliga teams can hope for is that we get a couple injuries because our squad is so thin. By the way, the club better be on these signings. We better be getting players in. But that's the only hope for the Bundesliga competition this year. Because after match day 1, after what I saw, it's done. The Bundesliga is over. We will win the league. And you guys, one of my 5 bold predictions for Bayern this season is already going to come true. I said Bayern would win the league by minimum 15, 20 points. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So disappointing because I want this team to be pushed and keep getting better throughout the season. But I just don't see that happening. Company and this team are growing too much, and the competition, they're not competing. They're not competing. So it's been your boy Hokage. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I'll see you guys in the next one.